What's up, everybody? Okay, so this is the second meeting of this group, and I am here with Simon and with Jason. So we have two other people! Woo! Which is awesome. I was worried because technically this started 27 minutes ago and no one was here. But that's fine. So real quick, for those of you guys watching, the way this group's going to work is it meets every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 hour. And anybody can join. If you're looking at the video on YouTube, look in the description. At some point, I will make these live so that people are more likely to join. Because basically, before I was thinking, oh, I'll do like 4 sessions with each person. But now I understand that the reality of communicating with the individuals and them actually showing up isn't always super likely. Like, for example, 28 people signed up for this group. And then when I asked to vote on time slots, only 7 people actually even voted on the time slots. So I'm just going to host the group at this time, and whoever can join it can join it. So, how are you guys doing today? Oh.
I'm great. Thanks for asking, Jack. I'm actually just following your Udemy course right now and working on my stool.
The dropshipping course?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's really great. Like, it really helped me understand the whole concept better, and you gave me so many different resources about areas that I should look into.
That's awesome. That's the goal, man, is to be useful and help you guys have better access to the information that you need. Oh, I just lost my internet. Oh my god. All right, I'm back.
Go back.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal with that course, is to make sure that you guys can have an easier time accessing the information, and so that you can know where to go if you want to further educate yourself about certain subjects. Because that was something I really struggled with when I started dropshipping. There seemed to be so much information from so many different places, and a lot of people, in regards to software at least, were talking like, oh, there's only this one tool, this other tool, when in reality there were tons of different tools, but each person was only aware of their little subset, right? And so the goal of the dropshipping course is to just put all that information into one place so that you guys can easily access it. But I want to get on to the subject that I want to talk about today, which is root cause. Is this something either of you are familiar with?
Please explain.
So, root cause is a phrase that means the original cause of something. So when people are trying to fix their lives or to become more talented or build a business, most people try and fix the kind of superficial parts of their life. They fail to look at the core of their life and figure out what is really causing their problems. So I want to talk about this subject because it's something that I see quite often. So let me think of an example of root cause. Like, okay, say that you have a friend who comes into the house really late at night and like is really tired, or they go to a bar or something, so they make a mess in the kitchen, and this is regularly happening, right? And this bothers you. You can try and talk to the friend about it, or you can clean up the mess in the kitchen, right? This isn't understanding the root cause of what is causing the situation. And that is how most people attempt to deal with problems in their life. They accidentally don't realize that they are just looking at the superficial cause, right? In this case, if you clean up after your roommate, well then, he's still going to come home with his regular habit and make a mess, right? The root cause of that situation is whatever is causing your roommate to get home late, not the mess itself, even though the mess itself is what the problem is, right? So whoever wants to go next, I just would like you to come up with an example, maybe better than the one I just used, that was a really bad example, of what you think root cause means.
Well, I imagine for most people watching this video, they would probably feel at certain times during the day or the week that they are very agitated, irritated, right? And if you ask them how they're doing, they might just say, if they're honest, they say, I'm having a bad day. But the root cause may be something much deeper. It may be, for example, it may be that something in their life or in their relationship with other people. For example, they may have had a bad experience with somebody, maybe early in the week, and that's just sort of like keep bothering the whole week. I don't know if that is a good example, but I could only think of that right now at this point in time.
That's better than my example, and I think that's a good way to talk about it, because if you're feeling really bad, that may be normal to you, like you just get irritated at any point throughout the day, and for all people, this happens, but it could indicate you are doing a job that you hate or you don't like, and there's something that is in your life that is unfulfilling. So the root cause would be the fact that you are doing something and you have to do it, but your deeper self doesn't really want to do it, right?
Yes. I think that relates to that.
So Simon, can you think of an example of root cause? And it could be simpler than this. We're using kind of abstract concepts here.
Well, yes, I can relate to.
You're not funny.
This is Esme, by the way.
Hello.
Yes, I can think of something that what we were talking about last week about me making these props that I don't particularly want to do, but I have to do it, in order to keep the money that I've already been paid. So I guess that sort of relates to what you're talking about.
So just for some reference, Jason, last week I talked with Simon, and he does a lot of different things. So he's self-employed, so he works from home, and he does like how do I say it? Like
Film prop.
Say it again.
GUI.
GUI?
Film props, replicas.
Film props, yeah, that's right. So one of the things that he does is make film props from movies and sell them, right? So he was saying how that's something that like he's enjoyed in the past and has earned money from, but now like he just has done it so many times he doesn't really find any joy in it anymore, right?
Right.
So that's what he's referencing when he's talking about film props, is the act of doing something that you don't really want to do. So in this case, the root cause would be that like Simon doesn't feel like that's what he wants more of in his life now. Like he could do it and it gets him the money, but he doesn't want to grow that. He doesn't want to be doing that more. He wants to be doing something else more, right?
Absolutely, I understand. Do you mind if I ask a question, Simon?
Yes, go.
You mentioned you make film props and sell them, right? To most people, that sounds like a cool job, and maybe when you started doing that, it was like a really cool thing for you to do. You really enjoyed it. But do you think that the fact you have had to do this as a obligatory work, right, for source of income? So slowly, the activity sort of like felt more like work rather than what you enjoy doing.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, my daughter's covering herself in glue at the moment, so I'm a little bit distracted. Don't do that. Okay, yes, I kind of fell into it. It wasn't really something that I actively, decided to do. But I made one and put it up on YouTube, and then just kept getting regular orders for them. So it's something that I've been trying to sort of work towards not doing anymore with other streams of income. This is what I was talking to Jack about last week. So I'm in the process of building other online businesses that I can do instead of making film props. which is building, is going like slowly. So eventually I will be phasing out the props, because at the moment I'm only doing it for the money. I don't particularly enjoy making them anymore. But yeah, so I mean, I'm working towards, phasing that bit out of my income.
So, was there a point where you enjoyed it more, or from the beginning has it always been a bit like, eh?
That was fun. It was fun to begin with, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I've been making the same thing for almost 10 years now. So yeah, it's lost. all the fun's gone, and you know what they say. Once the fun's gone, it's time to move on.
I'm not sure I've heard that phrase before. Once the fun is gone, it's time to move on. I like that.
Well, yeah, the fun is gone. So yeah, and building other online businesses. That's my goal.
By the way, guys, this topic of root cause, right? Like, do you guys feel that most people in lives try not to think about what's the root cause, for their, I don't know, lack of happiness, complete satisfaction? Because it's actually quite difficult to do. When you reflect, you might be facing very difficult choices. You might have to make huge changes in your life, and that's very painful for everybody.
Yeah, it's absolutely not something that most people are willing to address, especially because your ability to determine root cause correlates to the amount of different lifestyles you've witnessed. If you've been raised into this world and you've only seen humans live a certain kind of way, like for example, there's a lot of people on this planet who think that you're born, you work all the time, and then you die. And then you probably don't do work that you love. Like, that is an accurate view of how a lot of people, not saying all people, a lot of people view the world. And so within that mindset, it's very, very hard to look at the root cause of what's causing your depression or whatever in your life. Whereas if you have witnessed a lot of people like do their own thing, make their own businesses, be YouTubers, do other things, it becomes much easier for you to start to acknowledge that you can live differently. It's completely possible.
So in your experience, Jack, I mean, do you think that to help somebody to change their perspective or causing a shift in their mindset, right? Like, what is the best way, in your experience, to do that?
The best way, so online, I have no idea. In person, it's through making eye contact with people who live the life that you want to live. That is absolutely. So I can share a little bit about what happened in my situation. I was a barista at Starbucks, and I was trying to build online income so I could leave Starbucks and just be my own boss. That was like my dream, right? And honestly, I didn't believe it was possible fully. Even though it's the internet and there's so many opportunities and all this, there was a real part of me that didn't think that it was possible to earn money online. Which now looking back is incredibly dumb. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. It's like saying like, oh, I don't think dentists can earn money. Like, of course they can. They exist and people do it, But it wasn't until I got invited to this event called Grind Camp, and I met 20 other people who earned money from a computer, made eye contact with them, talked with them, and lived with them for 2 weeks, right? That changed things for me. That was the turning point in my life where all doubt completely vanished, and my mindset did actually change. But it took going to a foreign country, living with people, and looking them in the eye to cause that to happen, right? So what you're talking about, like that shift, is it's possible to do, but to get it to happen online, like I'm not sure. And that's one of the reasons I want to do these calls, is to try and learn about how.
Yeah, the grind camp you mentioned, like Mark, I'm sure you know him, and he's hosting something similar this year.
Uh-huh.
And I am at the point where I'm thinking I would like to go and see this in action, because this thing about, I mean, I never really touched computer until I was like 1999, right? So like for me, this whole thing about online, making money online, I was actually very skeptical. When I first heard dropshipping, I was like, this sounds like too easy. It's like, why isn't everybody doing it? And from learning your course, David's course, and then watching other YouTube videos, I was like, maybe this is doable. And as you dig into this subject, you try to research about different ways of doing it, then you start saying, okay, maybe this is possible. But if you're surrounded with 20 different people who are living the life, like you said, that you think you may be able to, then just like, wow, okay, this is completely possible now. Now I gotta do it. I think that's so powerful. That's an incredible experience. I think you should write a book, Jack.
I know if you're thinking about going to an event like that, I strongly encourage you to. Like in my case, I didn't have any money at the time. I took out like credit cards and bought plane tickets, and then spent money I didn't have instead of paying my eBay bill when I was there. And I don't regret any of that. It changed my life, accessing that information, seeing how these people live. And in that case, they weren't. I was one of like 2 or 3 drop shippers. Most of the others were like influencers of some kind, so they had like Instagram accounts or like big Facebooks or like things such as this, right? Like Snapchat, that kind of thing.
You took balls, Jack, to go there like you did. It's so. But that's the thing, right? Like if you think about when people are trying to figure out their root cause, and you did that, and that alone took, I'm sure it took tons of courage, right? Because I'm sure in your head you're like, oh my God, there's so many different uncertainties. Like I may not be able to afford it. What if I can't make the money back? What if I'm broke? What if I'm dead? Like for people to take that step, how does that happen? How does that process like that happen? I mean, Simon, you look like you have more experience than any one of us in life. What do you think?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by several things.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, like, in your experience in life, right, or from everything you've seen, you've experienced, what do you think, what is a process that would cause a person to say, okay, like, to take a leap of faith, right? It's like, it's like when, I suppose when you're doing online, trying to build your online revenue stream, you had a lot of doubt, right? So you're trying to figure things out. Like you said, things go slowly. Things just don't just happen overnight, right? And how do people keep going? What does it take,
It's different for a lot of people, really. For myself, it was necessity, really. Things happened in my life where I need money, and that's basically been the root cause of my need to build various different online businesses. Is the need to make money, really, and that's really how I found Jack's channel. Is just researching various different ways of making money online, and eBay dropshipping was one of the ones that came up, and then I found Jack's channel, and that led me here. So I think it's really identifying what you want, and why you want it, really. For me, I've got 3 kids, and I wanted to, and a beautiful partner sitting next to me. And I want to improve our lifestyle, and our income took a bit of a dip, and I need to make some money, and I want you just want to make just to get by, which I can do with the making props and other things, but I wanted to upgrade. So I've been sort of pushing really to find ways of making more money and upgrade our lifestyle. So
Okay.
But it might be the same for a lot of people. It's what is it? Jim Rohn says, it's either inspiration or desperation. So you're either inspired to do something, or you are, desperate enough to try anything. So that's probably the easier way of explaining it.
Yeah, interesting. So I guess necessity breeds creativity, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You guys know some cool phrases. I like these.
I am full of it.
So, Simon, have you ever thought about like making some kind of online product showing other people how to make props? Is that something?
I have considered it. I mean, I've got a couple of Instructables tutorials on how to apply different makeup appliances and stuff that I've done, and yeah, they do quite well and bring in quite a lot of customers every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd considered actually just making a simple tutorial on how to make the props that I do, and then sell that instead of the actual props. But
that would recreate itself over and over again.
At least I wouldn't have to actually make it.
So, do you know anything about the platform Skillshare?
I have heard of it, yeah.
So
I haven't really looked into it too much.
Skillshare is interesting because it is focused on. So, most of my income comes from a Udemy course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm working on Skillshare now and making some Skillshare courses. And the reason I'm particularly interested in Skillshare is because it really focuses on the kind of ADD, ADHD mindset of having trouble focusing and being easily distracted. For example, on Udemy, the minimum amount of time for a course is 30 minutes. And a lot of courses are like for example, my two major courses, the YouTube one and the dropshipping one. The dropshipping course is 8 hours and the YouTube course is 3 or 4 hours, right? So Skillshare doesn't even want you to go past 1 hour. So
Right.
both of those courses, the smaller one is 4 times too big to be on Skillshare, and the other one is 8 times too big, right? And so it's also interesting because they have a 10-minute minimum on their courses, and a lot of their courses are literally 10 minutes. That's 5 2-minute videos. Super doable. Super doable.
Yeah, I think I've often thought once, when I've been building something, that I should just video it, or at least just take pictures of the process, and then I can just build a tutorial once while I'm actually working. So yeah, I will do that. Like I say, I've got 2 that I still need to make anyway. So I've got a brand new camera as well. So I've got nothing. I've run out of excuses really. So I need to get it done. Thank you.
By the way, also Simon, I don't know if you know this, but on the platform called Twitch, so artists do stream their music tracks, and people pay money just to watch you do your thing.
What was the name of that again?
Twitch, TWITCH. It's like YouTube, but it's like streaming. Mostly it's for gamers. Yeah, oh, by the way, Jack, I don't know why you never thought of streaming, playing games, which you love. I think you'd be a great Twitch streamer, right? I think for any game that if you can attract, so the rules are figured out, right? That you're about to get for every single day, you get about 1% of your viewers, right? So if you can attract 1,000 viewers, you get 10 of them to subscribe to you. And I believe one subscriber is like $5, and I think 30% goes to Twitch. You take the rest. So if that accumulates, right? Like especially when you play game after certain time, like yeah, it's quite considerable, I would say.
Yeah, there's some people who earn really good money on Twitch. And it's definitely interesting because one of the, like, I went through a long period of time where I really wanted to stream video games. And I'm in like an intermission with this right now where I'm not doing it. But basically the mentality is like, okay, if you're already doing something, you may as well be streaming it and sharing it with people. Because like, and this is something I've found like to be completely true in my life, is that I get bored of stuff. But if I can make a video doing it or try to teach it to other people, it's way more interesting and way more fun. And so really, like, if you can just identify stuff you're already doing and then just make videos about it, like that's basically the premise of most of my YouTube channel. And like that's how it started. Like I was selling on eBay, I was drop shipping, I had an Anchor store, which at the time was the biggest store, and I was like, I could probably make videos about this, maybe. But how would I make content? And then I came up with a list of like 3 different videos to make. And then I made one of them and then didn't do anything for like 2 weeks. And then I made the other 2. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then I just made another video and another video. And then that became a 300 episode series on YouTube. And then that became 1,100 videos uploaded to YouTube like a year and a half later. And it like grows. But in the beginning, it's so like, it's easy to be overwhelmed and just to, think wrong.
Hey, Jack, have you ever thought about creating a specific kind of community, right? So, for example, the people that attend these meetings every week, for example, Simon has his artistic skills, right? You have your YouTube skills, and I actually think, I mean, I don't know, so I can't think, but like if you recorded your whole journey for the last 3 years from Starbucks barista to where you are now, right? And I think that inspired people. And I was actually thinking, like, if I can figure out this thing called dropshipping by showing people like what I'm doing every day, it could be very interesting to some people. I don't know who they will be, but I'm sure it will be very interesting, right? So it sort of like creates a team of people who because I don't know if Mark, right, the DSG guy, I don't know if he's doing this, but he used to be collecting people who are video tubers and YouTubers and trying to get them to, I don't know what he's doing, but just sort of give me the idea that it'd be really fun to create a community like that.
Yeah, that's one of the goals of this call. I want my YouTube channel at least to have more information about other individuals and to work with communities and to work with groups of people. So I'm hoping that by hosting this call every week, we can start creating like a list, because ideally it would be cool to like, okay, we have this call and then there's some kind of document, and if you want to learn more about the people who participate in the call, what like their strengths are, their skills, what they can help with, what they're working on, then you could find all of that. This is all stuff that I want to move towards. So like definitely just keep staying in these, keep coming every week, and then we'll see what it turns into.
You've already doubled the numbers.
Yeah.
That's the limit now.
Exponential growth, you see? Yeah, keep doubling. I remember, Jack, you said keep doubling like your eBay account limit, you'll reach 1 million, right?
Yeah.
Very.
Oh man. What I should do is just start drop shipping again, but on a different eBay marketplace. I've talked to a couple people, right? And I was bulk drop shipping on the US eBay. So you have to pay for every single listing, right? And now I've talked to like 4 different individuals who did the same crap I was doing, except they were on eBay UK or eBay France. And because of that, they had no insertion fees. So that $91,000 that I paid to eBay, they got to keep. And it's just like, man, why was I on eBay US? Like,
yeah,
wow.
It's so because this call started quite late, I actually have another call in like 4 or 5 minutes. So I got to end this. But next week, again, it'll start at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So that's like 57 minutes ago, roughly. But before I go, is there any questions you guys want to address?
Will you be sending out an email with access code to the video, or like, because I got your email literally like 1 minute before I joined.
Yeah. So the access code is the same. It doesn't change, or at least it's not supposed to change. So I will send. That was the first time I sent a email out to everybody. So I just did that, but I'll do that like probably once a week. And then I have to figure out how to gain like traction for the group. So probably I'll do that by live streaming the call. I'm not completely sure how that'll go down logistically, but that means that every person who's subscribed to me on YouTube will see that I'm live, and so then they can see that the call's happening. And as long as like you can look in the video to join, then we can do that. This adds a bit of a different dynamic because then I have to also monitor the chat on the live stream. But
you can.
Interesting.
I mean, so have you ever thought about maybe starting a I don't know, a Discord or Twitch community? Like, so for example, after this call, for the next call, I don't know if we already have a topic, but perhaps people can share their particular story regarding a topic, and we can each then take turns to share our own thoughts.
Yeah, that would be something, like being able to IM everybody. That would be super useful. So, like, I've used Discord before, so that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Do you know what Discord is, Simon?
No.
So it's traditionally a service used by gamers, but basically it's an IM service that like your computer is logged into, and you can join groups of people, and then it's like you're hanging out with them. So typically you'll join a Discord chat room whenever you get home and you're playing video games or whatever, and you have like groups that your friends are part of. So if they're home and they're also free, they'll be in the room so you can talk to them. So
yeah, and then maybe you can then get people to organize community and have mods and things who can help you. Because I used to be part of like communities like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Specifically because of like, there's been multiple times working with this group where I'm like, man, I wish I could just IM everybody. That'd be super useful.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, is there any way like we can share like Discord names?
like we can do it through this. So the thing about Zoom is that when there's a chat, right? But whenever
type.
Yeah, whenever the call ends, the chat goes away. So like it's really common for people to share links, contact information, all that stuff, and then they close the client and it's gone, right?
So I will share this with everybody. This is my Discord name.
Okay.
Here, I'll write some stuff down real quick. Why is it opening here? I'm just sending an email to myself with your Discord info.
Cool.
And so I'll send another email out, like one of those email campaigns, to everybody that includes like information about Discord and where to download it and install it. 'Cause I think that's a really good idea. And
Yeah, then we can grow the.
Seeing how this grows in the future.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta leave now. This was fun. I'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Yeah. Have a good one. Take care, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.